All right, you guys. Well, I'm happy to be here to welcome to tonight's call. Tonight is all about vision casting. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Alexandra. I'm a social entrepreneur with a wellness company called Arbonne, and I'm thrilled to be coming on and sharing keys to something that completely revolutionized my life. And how this came into my hands was I was literally 24 years old. I was dead broke. I was looking for solutions. I did everything that my parents told me to do, like go to work hard, study in something you like, get the job. And I was like, here I was finally like 2 years into my 9-to-5 career and not getting any more ahead, waiting and begging for somebody to give me a raise and thinking to myself, I'm already showing up and doing all the things. And I remember sitting on the corner of a street one day, and it was like I had gone to a dentist appointment. And I recall this moment so clearly in my mind. I was like 23, 24. And I literally was sitting on the corner, and it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. I got out of a dentist appointment. I was dragging my feet back to work, which I liked my job. I got there and I was sitting at the corner, and I saw somebody in a BMW with the music on. They were like youngish, wealthy-ish looking, things, perceptions, right, in our mind. And I was like, how does someone have money and time freedom? And like, it blew my mind away. Like, I was like, how do you get that? And everything that you think about, you bring about, right? And so little bit by little bit, I attracted this business, a social network marketing business, into my hands. I had started that business. I wasn't all that crazy successful with it at first. And again, I was looking for ways to really enhance my success and trying to find ways to like tap into how do the successful people think? How do they expand their minds? And sure enough, what you think about, you bring about. And I was attracted and invited to a conference one weekend, which was called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And if you ever have access to reading that book by Harv Ecker, it's called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Ecker. It is like the key. There's so many keys. And I feel like every time I'm coaching my team, anytime I'm talking to people, I recommend so many different books. But this whole journey really started with that conference. And so I ended up going to that conference, and just to give you a perception of what my life looked like at that time, like I don't have very many pictures, first of all, of me in those times. First of all, because I had really acne prone skin. I wasn't feeling good in my body. I was very camera shy. I was not somebody who talks in front of the camera a lot. And if you guys know, evidently you know me if you're on this call, you wouldn't believe that now today, because I talk on my stories frequently. I'm very active on social media. I've spoken on stage for over 20,000 people at our largest conferences. I'm very out there when it comes to my social business. But what I realize now is those things came with time, because my vision became so clear, and the actions to get there made it so seamless to break out of this shell. And that's why I bring this picture forward, because somebody actually sent me a group picture of me working in the fashion industry. And I'm like, oh my God, that was me. I thought this was fashionable, by the way. But it's not that. It's not so much about like the weight, the things. It's like the smile. The smile is holding back. The energy is holding back. And I can sense it for myself. Maybe, and I always feel like every time I show this picture, people go, you were still beautiful. And that's not my intention. You guys are always so sweet. And I'm so blessed to have so many amazing people around me. I know the difference. It's like putting a mirror to a stranger to me when I look at this picture. And so that was me walking into that very first meeting. And when I was sitting in that meeting, this young version of me, I was watching people like me that wanted more of their life at this conference. And I saw people who had what they wanted and their energy, and there was something different about them. And that weekend, I heard people talk on stage about really setting clarity around your goals and being really intentional about how you're feeling. So it's not just about why putting the goal down, but it's like, why do you want that goal? Right? People will sit down. I want to make X amount of money. I want to have that house. I want to marry somebody like this. I want to have this position or this promotion in my business. That's awesome to say what you want and with a deadline. But the most important thing is to really set clarity on the feeling that you want. Why do you want that thing? Right? Being really, really dead clear on that. And so that weekend, I remember like it was never before, like ever before. I got home and it was a Sunday, and I literally spent like the whole day getting in the feeling of, if there was no limits, how would I want my life? If there was no limits, how would I want my life? Where would I want to live? And I'm going to bring you to these questions. So I started to really, really expand on how would I like to live? if like, and I want, these are all these questions for you. Okay. So how would you like to live? Like if you were to have a perfect day every day, what would that day look like? Like, what would it look like? And most of all, what would it feel like? What would it feel like? Because that's what you attract. We don't attract what we want. We attract what we want to feel. Okay. And what we feel the most. And the cool thing is I'm going to show you tricks on how to attract that quicker, because I'm going through these questions. So where would you like to live? Like, where would you like to live? I was like, I narrowed that down. I was like, all right, I love where I'm at right now, but I would love to be there and there. Okay. What would you like to do with more time and freedom? What kind of things would you be more invested in? What kind of things would you be doing if you had more time and freedom? In a perfect world, how much money would you like to earn? Like, if you didn't have, we have, and this is always questioning, like, why do we believe the things that we believe? Why do we believe that 100,000 is a lot, 200,000 is a lot, 300,000, $1 million, $500 million? Why do we believe those things? It's because society has programmed us in a way to believe that a certain amount will give us a certain amount of happiness, or even thinking like, I often think to myself, I was really conditioned that you have to work hard for money. But when I realized and I started to look around me at the wealthiest people when I started changing circles, I started realizing that the wealthiest people I know don't work hard. They work smart. So like totally different. But I was conditioned to work hard. So for almost 2 decades, I worked hard. And now I'm still reconditioning that part to me. What would having a greater purpose in your life feel like for you? And like, what would the greater purpose look like? Would it look like having people sending you a message saying that you had a positive impact on their life? Or would it be like doing charity work or doing something overseas? What would it be like? What kind of people would you like to mix with? And this is really important because we become who we hang out with. Like, what are the kind of people you want to hang out with? And what I love about these questions is that it really brings us to allow ourselves to reinvent ourselves continuously and really to evaluate where we are and where we want to be. What would stronger emotional connections with others feel like? Especially after the 3-4 years that we've gone through a pandemic, I think that many of us have suffered through a lot of lack of emotional connection with others. And so start to imagine what it would feel like to have a stronger connection with others. What would more money feel like in your life? And what would it allow you to do? Because it's not so much like, even my 9-year-old daughter said to me in the car the other day, she was like, we were driving in Palm Beach Island, if you guys know where that is. And we were like literally at the side of the beach. And my daughter goes, she's 9 years old. She goes, oh, mommy, I love this one. Oh, I love these beautiful mansions. And she goes, there's no guarantee that they're happy, but they definitely, God has honored them with more resources, because money is just a resource. And I was like, yes, honey, it's just a resource. And she goes, it's just energy. I was like, yes, those kind of things that we didn't, maybe for myself, I can speak for myself. I don't want to speak for anybody else. I was not conditioned that way to believe that money was a resource. Like money was everything. And you had to work hard to get it. And it was like, you had to do this. And it became like the center of the universe. And I love demystifying those beliefs. So, but what would more money really feel like? Because money is just a thing that allows us to live more experiences in any. So what does building your business? Okay, so this goes more specifically for those of you who are building a network marketing business. What would building your business to the top matter to you? Or even, any profession actually, because I know one of my friends here is in a real estate business. So what would building your business to the top matter to you? Like, how would that matter to you? And so you can take a print screen of this. I'm going to actually upload this on YouTube afterwards. These are just things for you to reflect on and to think to yourself, maybe you're in a space. And I know that for myself, prior to getting into these kinds of exercises, frustration was a huge part of my life. I was frustrated. And if you ever feel frustrated, you can drop it in the comments. Okay. Like all frustration. Okay. And it's just, I love it when I get frustrated today, because it really allows me to realize that it's just because I have unfulfilled desire. I have unfulfilled desire, and I have all the keys within myself to create the desires that I want. Okay. We all have that ability. We evidently don't realize that we all have that ability, but we create frustration because it's due to unfulfilled desires. So if you dwell on the delays, obstacles, and you continue to attract things like that. So when people talk about business being slow, well, the more that you talk about business being slow, the more you're attracting things to be slow. And it's really not so much about the words you're using, it's more about the feelings you're using. And I remember thinking to myself, I was projecting my success to be, it's coming. Like I would see it so far away. Whereas like, I was just in beautiful Hawaii. What a great way to, what a great life to be living. And I was talking to one of my mentors, and I was talking to her about my goals for 2024. And I said, it's going to be great. And I said, actually take that back. Life is already great. And I already feel gratitude for where I am. And that's why it's so important wherever you are to have gratitude for where you are today, because you are already what you want to become. It's already, if you've decided it, if you've got clarity on it, you've just got to decide in your heart, like it's locked and loaded. It's just a matter of time till the rest of the world sees it. And like, once it's locked and loaded and it's just a matter of time till the rest of the world sees it, there's nobody that can stir you off that energy. It's like whatever delay comes through, you know, it's locked and loaded. It's already programmed. It's already done. But when we don't have it clear, when we don't have it locked and loaded and we go, let me see how this is going to work out, that's how we get frustrated. That's why we quit. That's why we let things go, right? So you got to keep your subconscious focused on the best possible outcome. And almost like, not almost, like it's inevitable. It is truly inevitable. And I don't have that much time to share too many things about my journey with my network marketing business, but I will tell you that I drove to a city 3 hours away from me for 2.5 years to find the incredible organization that is in that city. And every time I would go there, not sell lipstick, not sell anything, like not enroll anybody, and drive back home. And in the beginning, I would cry, be upset. I was putting gas in my car that I couldn't afford. I was going back home and I had to work 9 to 5 the next day. Like frustration was a huge part of my life. And then something switched. And I started to tell myself a story, which I'm going to share more in a few slides, of what I started to program myself. And I used to spend my time in the car telling the story as if we were 6 months later. So I would say, oh my God, today is, let's say June 30th, 2024. In January, I drove to this place. I couldn't put gas in my car. I was feeling so devastated. I even would shed tears, like feeling the emotion of where I was at right now. But you know what happened? The next time I went, I met the most phenomenal person. And one person can completely shift your whole business. And I would tell myself this story. And imagination is actually our biggest gift that we have been told to stop to be dreamers, but we actually all have that gift within ourselves. And as much as I coach people, I always get so saddened when they tell me, like, my parents told me not to dream in color and don't dream so big because you fall so far. Like these ideas that really limit us in so many ways. And I realize now that when we start to believe, we become what we believe, right? And so if we believe that success is inevitable for the person that takes action and that takes determinate action, guess what? It's like your wish is my command. If you believe that dreaming too big and you may fall flat on your face, well, guess what? Your wish is my command. And so you have to really realize that your duty is to consistently always think about harmony, balance, joy, like the best possible outcome. And when you feel frustration, get it out on paper, journal it out, recognize where your desire is, what's creating the lack of desire. And a lot of the times when I feel like I'm not getting the desired outcome, it's because I know that I'm avoiding work that I should be doing, that is actually inspired work that I'm just scared to do generally. And so bringing you back to that Sunday afternoon, after I went to that Harv Ecker meeting, this is really for inspirational purposes. This is not in any way to impress you in any way. I made this video in 2011. Okay. And I sat on that Sunday and I really wrote down like all the things, like how I wanted my life to feel, what kind of things did I want in my life. And again, it was locked and loaded. I watched this video every single morning and night, and I didn't even know the sciences of the subconscious brain at that time. I just knew, like, okay, well, you got to put a vision board. Well, I decided to do a vision movie. And apparently now, knowing the science 10 years later, doing a vision movie with a song that makes you feel good, that makes you feel like your best life, with images that really put themselves embedded in your brain, you start to bring that into your subconscious brain. Your subconscious brain is what dictates everything that you do on a daily basis. It's like it's your blueprint. It's your programming. Everything you do, everything you think, everything you do every single day, the relationships you entertain, the scenarios you attract in your life is all attracted because of your blueprint. The coolest thing is that our blueprint can be changed. Okay. And so I can just show you this real quick. I'm not going to put sound on it because when I've showed it on YouTube afterwards, but this is like super ghetto. I did this on like literally an iMovie thing. I'm destined, and it had this song that I listened to still when I go running, and I would feel like, okay, lots of money. I was like, okay, I just want a lot of money. Like really, now I live a life with purpose. And honestly, I watched this every single day for a whole year. And after that, I forgot about it, but this was locked and loaded in my brain. I'm always at the good place at the good time. So I encourage you to get inspired, write some of these affirmations. If they speak to you, all my endeavors are successful. So I started to really affirm that. I'm a global leader. I wrote those things. And then that was my first car, you guys. I've had probably 7 or 6 Mercedes now paid by my company. I'm financially free. I live a life of abundance. And abundance can be so many different things, right? It doesn't have to be monetarily. Okay, so this is the crazy part. I have a house at home in Montreal, Florida, and Greece. And my sister ended up moving to Norway and now investing in places. Like, it's just so wild. She's connected to Greece. She's very close to Greece. This is my dream house in Florida. And I'll show you what my house looks like here afterwards. And you'll be kind of blown away. These are places that I was just putting images in my mind, places that I wanted to vacation on. And it was really embedded in my mind. And so I just want to, this is exactly like a vision that I had before of like a Hawaii, been to Hawaii 7 times. And just like, okay, I had Louis Vuittons, flowers, I get flowers all the time, and living in constant positivity. I wanted to be slim. I wanted some jewelry. Okay. And here I was, okay, I wanted to be an inspiration. And you can tell I didn't put any pictures of myself in the current state because I couldn't relate to the current state. I was creating a brand new model of myself. And so this is where I'm telling you guys that you can all reinvent yourself. I'm energetic and healthy. All my relationships are meaningful. Now, I didn't know my husband at the time when I did this. And yeah, so I live in constant positivity. I never forget where I came from. I have an incredibly successful man that loves me. Okay. And I had visualized like an Enrique Iglesias. Little did I know that I was going to attract like a Shaquille O'Neal in my life, somebody that I can be 100% myself with. But get this, you guys, this is how powerful your brain is. I have 2 little girls. I have 2 little girls. Okay. So your subconscious brain is listening all the time. It's your reticular active. Like, it's just the wildest thing to me. And I was only going to have 1 daughter. And I used to watch this for 10 years. 10 years ago, I watched it over and over again. I totally forgot about it. It was locked and loaded. I had Sydney, forgot about it. And sure enough, next thing I know, Pierrot and I decided to have another kid. You can't guarantee what it's going to be. And then I end up having another girl. It's just the wildest thing to me. So all this to say, okay, these are all the kind of things that I've attracted into my life. That's my house in Florida, you guys. This is my actual house. It looks so similar to that house that was on that dream board. And I've done I do a dream board every single year. Dogs have been on it. Hitting 10 years in my company has been on it. Building an amazing team of VPs, having a happy marriage, attracting amazing and meaningful relationships has been so part of my life. My 2 little girls right here, like, it blows my mind. And it's not to say that everything is perfect, but when you're really mindful of your energy. And so I'm going to show you this video. I have permission from them to show this video. And this is called neuroplasticity. You can actually change the way your mind thinks. And that is contrary to what scientists were believing even just 2 decades ago. And this is concrete evidence. I'm going to show you this video for you to see for yourself. And then we're going to go into the details as to how this really truly works. I know this is why is it not working now? I'm going to pull it up for you guys on a different platform, or I'm going to send it to you. I'm actually going to send it to you guys. I'm going to send it to you after, or if I can just pull it up. Let's see here. It was working. Sorry, you guys. You guys can drop in the comment if you find this information interesting so far. Okay, let me just pull this up. And I'm gonna delete this, insert. I guess they changed it up on me. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna be able to come back here and show you. Okay.
Not so long ago, many scientists believed that the brain did not change after childhood, that it was hardwired and fixed by the time we became adults. But recent advances in only the last decade now tell us that this is simply not true. The brain can and does change throughout our lives. It is adaptable, like plastic. Hence, neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. How does neuroplasticity work? If you think of your brain as a dynamic, connected power grid, there are billions of pathways or roads lighting up every time you think, feel, or do something. Some of these roads are well-traveled. These are our habits, our established ways of thinking, feeling, and doing. Every time we think in a certain way, practice a particular task, or feel a specific emotion, we strengthen this road. It becomes easier for our brains to travel this pathway. Say I think about something differently, learn a new task, or choose a different emotion. We start carving out a new road. If we keep traveling that road, our brains begin to use this pathway more, and this new way of thinking, feeling, or doing becomes second nature. The old pathway gets used less and weakens. This process of rewiring your brain by forming new connections and weakening old ones is neuroplasticity in action. The good news is that we all have the ability to learn and change by rewiring our brains. If you have ever changed a bad habit or thought about something differently, you have carved a new pathway in your brain and experienced neuroplasticity firsthand. With repeated and directed attention towards your desired change, you can rewire your brain.
So anytime you're eating, feeling, or touching something, it re-enhances how you feel. So how many times, I mean, particularly coaching people through a 30 Days to Healthy Living program, I can see when people go, oh my God, I can't live without my glass of alcohol on a Saturday. That's because you've programmed yourself to every weekend doing that. And so you have to think of the version and the values of the new version of yourself on the other side of that healthy habit. And it's the same thing in terms of your success mindset. Like if you're looking to create more wealth, well, you have to continuously think, how does a wealthy third person think? A wealthy person sees it as just, they're making money circulate. They're not worried about the resource. They know that the money's circulating and there's tons of it coming back to them. Okay. So if that makes any sense. So let's talk about reticular activating system, because when you start to put your attention on what you want to draw into your life, it's not that it magically appears, because it's actually everything you need to get to the next level of you is around you right now. The only thing is that the old version of you is taking up more space, and it's making you see the things that you're used to seeing. And it's called your reticular activating system, because you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of things coming at you in terms of information every day. And so your brain needs to know, tell me what's important. Tell me what's important, and I'm going to find it. So if you say, okay, I'm building a multi-million-dollar business, I need driven people who are organized. I need driven people who know how to build a brand. I need people with financial resources. I need this. You write it out with clarity, what you're looking for. You'll start to see and attract the things into your life and opportunities to meet those types of people into your life. It's the lack of clarity. And I see it all the time. I mean, in our business, we give a car allowance for a white Mercedes-Benz when people achieve a certain level in the compensation plan. And the white Mercedes-Benz, every single person I've coached and trained in over 12, 13 years, literally comes back to me and goes, oh my God, I've been seeing Mercedes everywhere. You know why? Those are only the people who are actually looking to be successful. Okay. They go, I've been seeing it everywhere, because they know in their radar that they're attracting that. And so their reticular activating system goes, oh, wait a minute, that's important. So what's your reticular activating system? This is straight up from Google. It's a bundle of nerves in your brainstem. Its purpose is to look for information that validates your belief. And so it uses this filter to information coming into your brain around the world. So the world around your world, okay? So basically, if you believe something is true, think about people's beliefs. They believe something is true, they're going to consistently find the reasons why that belief is true. And so if they believe they are successful, they're going to continuously attract and see evidence of them being successful. And this, we see it a lot when people feel like victims, right? In life, they consistently attract circumstances that make them feel like a victim. Whereas somebody who would have a really high self-esteem and have nourished that self-esteem, they're blind to it. They're blind to circumstances like that. And so really what our biggest work is using this as our tool by guiding our minds morning and night on where to direct our energy, okay? If this feels confusing in any way, we can open up for coach questions afterwards, okay? So the number one thing you want to be doing right now is set the goal with the deadline. Set goals with deadlines, okay? I did my vision board today. I finalized it right before. I was like, I cannot do this call tonight without finishing my official dream board of 2024, okay? And the important thing is to write. I have pictures that I have 3-year goals on there. I also have goals on there that are do this by August 31st, 2024. Do this by June 2024. Do this by March 2024. I have specific goals with images that I'm going to sit in front of every morning and night and seep into my subconscious brain. And so what it does is that it literally puts me in a position that at night I go, what did I do to push that needle forward? What did I do to push that needle forward? And guess what? I'm attracting all the right circumstances because my reticular activating system is going, this is important. This can connect you to that. This can connect you to here, and bringing me to the right resources. And that's truly how the science does work. And there's several ways that you can tap into the subconscious brain. Now, the number one thing to know is that the subconscious is always more adaptable morning and night. I know I've repeated that, but repetition is key. Morning and night. And so the very first thing I'm going to encourage every single one of you to do, and to always tell this to anybody that you come in contact with, scrolling on social media is a big no in the first hour and last hour of your day. It's like the worst waste of your potential. You're taking time to absorb somebody else's content when you should be absorbing your own content. If you want to go on social media and scroll something, what I encourage you to do is create an Instagram page with all your goals on it and just scroll that. Okay, just scroll, or make yourself an album on your photos of all your goals and all your aspirations and all the things that make you feel so good on what you're about to create in your life, and start scrolling on that. Okay, nothing else. Like, if you want me to give you a prescription for success, you are not allowed to do that anymore if you're going to tap into your very best version of yourself this year. Now, option one, these are straight up from Think and Grow Rich, the most phenomenal book. Okay, so apart from Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, Think and Grow Rich, Science of Getting Rich, these are all books that are very, these are old school. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is not half as old as Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich was actually written in the 1930s by a man called Napoleon Hill. And if you speak to a lot of people who have created massive wealth and massive businesses, it's like the Bible of success. So the option number one is straight up from Think and Grow Rich. I've personally used it. I've had personal results from doing this. And if this one speaks to you, then do this one. Okay. So option number one is write yourself 3 statements next to your bedside. I'm so happy and grateful that I now earn X amount of money per month. Number 2, I am so happy and grateful that I now am this title by this date. Okay, so write like 2 goals that you've got going on. You've got this goal, I've got this by this date. Say the date out loud. I'm so grateful and thankful that I've attracted 5 phenomenal national vice presidents in my business from here to June 2024. Like, I could be saying June 30th, 2024. I say it with that declaration. And I'm so happy and grateful that all the right people, places, and circumstances are aligning themselves to make these 2 statements absolute truth. Absolute truth. And the most important thing, and one of my favorite mentors is Tony Robbins. I'm like an avid Tony Robbins event goer. He talks about not just affirmations, but incantations, things that really seep into your body. So an incantation is when you're saying, you can't go, I'm so happy and grateful that I now earn this much money. I told you this stuff doesn't work. It's all about your physiology. It's all about how you're feeling. It's not so much about the words that are coming out. It's about how you're feeling when you're saying it. Okay. And at first you might not feel it so much, but your goal is to really get physical, like in the sense, like getting excited in your body is really powerful for in terms of attracting that and to tapping into your reticular activating system. Now, option number 2 is to write down your story in reverse. And I shared a story about me and myself whenever I was driving to that other city, looking at like searching and attracting those people into my business. I would write down your story. Today is December 31st, 2024. Write down what happened this year. Today is December 31st, 2024. This year was the best year of my life yet. Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened. And write down the story, get emotional, feel yourself into the emotion. Okay. And you guys, this is all stuff that's free on the internet to find. You know what, you guys? Like 95% of people don't do this. So it puts you into a whole other category if you start to write down your goals with a deadline and you start to practice every day visualizing and putting action towards your goal. Most people don't do this. Option number 3, take time morning and night. And this, regardless, I think this is the must, is take time morning and night to sit in front of your vision board or your vision movie and take time to feel how good it feels that you have accomplished and know that it is done. It's like, it's done, it's completed. It's already set in stone. This is how it's going to be. This is who I'm going to be. It's just a matter of time till the world knows it. This is who I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to be. It's just a matter of time till the world knows it. And so to build your confidence, you have to build your confidence. The only way you're going to do that is not just by doing the affirmations and making a clear vision. Read books and audio books about your industry. Okay. So if you're in network marketing, I highly recommend GoPro by Eric Worre, 4-Year Career by Richard Bliss, Business of the 21st Century, Beach Money by Jordan Adler. Fill your cup up every day. Also, feed yourself good things in your subconscious. Like I just mentioned those 3 books earlier. Another great one is The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. Another great one. Start to expand your self-expansion knowledge, okay? Like the more that you learn this stuff, the more it becomes like, it's like working a muscle. You have to continuously work that muscle. So fill your cup every day, build your activity muscle every day, and build your confidence every day. So the only reason we don't have the confidence because we're not doing the things aligned with the vision. Okay. So I see many people do action without vision. It doesn't give results. I see many people do vision work without the action. It doesn't work. You need vision and action combined together. And that's what's going to strengthen your confidence muscle and start to attract the right people to you. Do at least one thing that scares you every day and that pushes the needle forward. And whether that's like, it could be every day, or let's say you have a financial goal, start saving a certain amount of percentage aside, start doing the activity that gets you closer. Like it's doing the one thing, and you can establish that for yourself. And as we close this call out, I will tell you that from being around people who have built phenomenal lives for themselves, I've become very observant of how they are. And one thing that I've recognized with every single massive leader that I've been around, or somebody that's created tremendous success. And when I say success, I just mean like feeling really good in their body and being very happy and expansive and always in a state of growing, because I really believe that, without growth, there's no happiness. Like growing is happiness. And people who are always in this growth mode of expanding themselves tend to be much more happy people. And so what I've realized is that they are so self-aware. They're so self-aware of who they're around. They're so self-aware of what they're feeding their minds. They're so self-aware of what kind of energy is around them. They become really mindful in so many aspects of their life. And I found that to be particularly very inspiring when I first started to be around people like this. And I make it my mission to be just as mindful and to be very self-aware. And I recognize it when I feel good in my body, it's because I've been around people who make me feel good, and that I'm doing things that are really fulfilling myself. I'm actually pouring into myself first. And I'm big on faith first, myself second, my family, and then all the rest. Because when those categories aren't in line, my whole life is in shambles. And so that's really part of me being self-aware. And then being aware of their emotional guidance scale. Okay. So many people are familiar with the law of attraction. Most of you probably logged on today, like plugging in, knowing that it was similar to the law of attraction. And the law of attraction is actually a secondary law to the world. Okay. So there's many laws that govern our world. And so, you know, the law of giving and receiving, all these different laws, but the primary law is the law of vibration. And the law of vibration is so powerful, is that whether you're putting good things in your mind, but you're consistently always in these lower vibrations of feeling powerless, unworthy, jealousy, hatred, revenge, anger, discouragement, blame, worry, doubt, disappointment, overwhelm, frustration, pessimism, boredom, like I'd say up until number 6, you're kind of in these, like, yeah, it's more upwards this way, but they're really on this vibrational scale that's bringing you down. And so what you really want to be working on is releasing, not just like pushing it to the side, because I've been victim of this, like push those emotions to the side, but observing why I'm feeling those ways, digesting it, taking away the energetic knots, and really looking to live my life more in passion, love, happiness, belief, optimism, you know, like being more into those things. So this is a first initiation tonight for many of you, maybe in terms of this content. It's just about becoming more mindful. And when we talk about emotional guidance scale and vibration, it's also about what you're feeding yourself. Like highly processed foods are very low vibrational foods. Alcohol is a low vibrational food, you know, and that's why I'm so mindful about healthy living and what I'm putting on my skin and all of those things, because what you put on yourself, and like I see these little kids with like toxic makeup, like it's all intertwined. Everything that you're using on a day-based basis in terms of what you're feeding yourself in your radio when you're on your way to the work and in the car, it's limiting your mind in so many ways. Because when I'm like, if the masses are going one direction, I want to understand what's the 5% of the world doing, because the 5% tend to be the ones that are more fulfilled, right? And so I'm leaving you on this note with this very tacky quote, but it's so true, that the positive thinker sees the invisible, it feels the intangible, and it achieves the impossible. And so once you tap into your inner world and you get really clear on what you're going to be achieving this year, I know without a shadow of a doubt that all of those things are very possible. And so I want to thank you for being on here. Before I close out the recording, I do want to put an emphasis on the fact that there's no guarantee for success, you guys. Like we are the ones responsible to do the work for us in our life. But everything, it all comes down to energy. And what I know for sure is that this has been absolutely predominant throughout my last decade in business. And so on that note, I hope this served you. And on that note, namaste. Thank you, guys.